start by recognizing, Dwayne Casey and his coaching staff and their players, the work they put in this year and in this series. I have the ultimate respect for them and their players. Really respect Dwayne and his group. For us, I think the way we, kept our focus, our defense in the second half responded. They threw a heck of a half at us. They were phenomenal. They came out as we expected they would. And Reggie Jackson, I think 20 in the first half. So, but I think hopefully, we responded in the second half, especially defensively, and our defense usually fuels our offense, and got out in transition, played, in some situations where we like, and move on.
Giannis was getting fouled a lot, going to the line a lot. Just what do you think about the way that he was able to persevere and kind of absorb that contact and just keep going through it?
Yeah, no, that's when we get stops and then we can get out and run and play in transition. Those two things are, I think what give us our best chance. And it starts with us being better defensively and then everybody running and playing with him. And when he has opportunities to either share it with his teammates or get to the rim, and he takes a pounding, but I think he's built for it. And I think he was great at the free throw line in the second half. We struggled as a team in the first half at the free throw line. So, yeah, Giannis was special tonight with 41.
I know there's been moments throughout this series where you guys have not been happy with your pick-and-roll defense on Reggie Jackson. It kind of looked like the same way in the first half. What do you think the difference was in the second half?
Well, I thought Bled, was really, really good in the second half. He just took it to another level on both ends of the court. The first half, Reggie did a lot of different things. He scored some in pick and roll, but he hit some spot-up threes. He hit, has the follow dunk to end the half. If you went back and looked at his 20, to feel like as many of them were in the pick and rolls. It was just a lot of different ways that he scored. And but, I think second half, just generally speaking, we were better. Bled was better. And, I think it was reflective in, our overall defense.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. But we've talked a couple of times over the course of the season just about balancing the celebration with the idea that you guys are working for something a little bit larger. That being said, this is a significant milestone, the first time you guys have gotten out of a first round since 2001. How do you strike that balance in this case in particular?
Yeah, hopefully well. You never know. But, I think organizationally and for a lot of players that have been here for, a significant amount of time, this is, to advance, to have the regular season that we've had, to now, take care of the first round and move on to the second. I think it's important that we take a second tonight, enjoy it. For the players, they'll probably take a day tomorrow and enjoy it, and the coaches will kind of move on and start working on Boston tomorrow. But I think our fans, our city, everybody, it's a good night for Milwaukee. It's a good night for the Bucks.
But there's a sequence in the third quarter with you guys trailing. Thon gets called for a reach on Giannis. There's a technical. Free throws go in out of a timeout. Pat gets a steal and a dunk. I think there's a three by Nico in there, too. Looking back, does that feel like a critical sequence? Because after you took the lead, it felt like foot was on the gas from then on.
Yeah, I think that was a critical sequence. I felt like Bled's, made 3 out of the post up when it was 10 and took it back to 13. I felt like we got a stop and another basket. There was, that one, and I thought Bled's 3 just felt like it was a big one that, they're trying to find ways, I think, to guard, Giannis in the post, guard him in, as he attacks the basket. And Nico hits a 3, Bled hits a 3 off of double teams, and that's when we're at our best. Giannis is great about attacking, and then when teammates are open, he shares it, and they make shots.
Can you get in a rhythm with your free throw shooting? Like for Giannis, he works on it all the time, but he's not necessarily as consistent with the free throw shooting. He was 15 of 20. Is that a rhythm thing for him?
Certainly, him getting a lot of attempts is going to help him with his rhythm, and he got comfortable. I don't know what he was in the first half, but I just know overall we weren't good, and felt like he made them all in the second half, and he was getting there a lot. So I do think, you keep going, and especially you're making them, you feel good.
How much did
fouls play into your strategy in the third quarter, specifically with the Pistons coach, Dwayne Casey, getting a technical foul, the fans seeming to not appreciate the calls by the referees, and also the foul trouble that the Pistons were in that it seemed like you tried to take advantage of?
Well, I mean, we just played. We do what we normally do offensively, and Giannis has the ball a lot, and he attracts a lot of attention. There's a physicality that comes with that, and I think that they were going to throw a lot of physicality at us tonight, and at some point it broke a little bit, and we were at the free throw line a lot, and different guys were in foul trouble, and I thought we played through the crowd, we played through whatever refereeing. I thought they did a good job, in a game that had a lot of physicality in it.
In the third quarter, Brook went to the locker room. Seemed like he had a back issue. Just what does it say about him, the way he was able to come back in the fourth and really anchor your defense?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, definitely concerning. He just felt like something in his back just wasn't quite right. And, credit to our medical staff to go to the back and get him where he felt good. He said he was ready to go. And, he was a big part of, another stretch where he just felt like he blocked several shots consecutively, and we got out and played off those blocks. And, he's been doing that.
But earlier this season, we also had a couple of conversations about just slow starts and coaching against that. It seemed like that might have reared its head again tonight. What do you do to kind of combat that going forward?
Well, I think give Detroit credit for how they started. I'm not sure we were at our best, but certainly Detroit was very, very good. And the playoffs are different. I think our guys were ready. It's just Detroit was better than us coming out of the gate. But to our maintaining a steady approach, and I think that's going to be key for us. We just got to keep our focus, keep grinding on teams, keep trusting our defense, and hopefully we can turn it if we don't start well.
I know every team wants to go 4-0 in the first round, but do you feel like it meant something to have a very real test at second half, angry crowd, like all of those things? Do you feel like that really will help this team going forward?
I mean, I'm sure. You're on the road. You're in a hostile environment. For us, some players to experience this, it's great. We got hit a couple times in this series. Detroit several different times played really well for long stretches, and that's just going to make us better as we go forward. Thank you, bud. All right, thank you, guys.
Real love, something I've been trying to find. Where you been? Got here just in time. I think there's something I've been waiting for. I've been asking if it's something that I'm ready for. I was out looking for love in a trash can. I always thought there was nobody out there. Then I found you and you put me in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm sleeping, love is all I can dream of. When you leave me, baby, it's all that I can think of. Can't nothing come in between us but the road. I can't help it that we connected at the soul. Show me how to love, how you do that. This my heart, better watch the way you shoot it. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. This time last year, used to hate love. Been through so much, almost gave up. Every time I felt like it was something missing. Then I met you, then you showed me something different. Heart on lockdown, but letting no one in. I was shutting people down before they even begin. Can't imagine me living my life without you. Had to sit down and write me a song about you. Lost my mind to describe what it feel like. If a bird lost its wing, but it still flies. You the one, help me realize. Love really do exist in the real life. Love really do exist in the real life. Real life, real life. When I'm sleeping, love is all I can dream of. When you leave me, baby, it's all that I can think of. Can't nothing come in between us but the road. I can't help it that we connected at the soul. Show me how to love, how you do that. This my heart, better watch the way you shoot it. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with with you, I feel like I be in my zone.
Y'all know who I am, I'm not who I used to be. I know it wasn't in my plans, but it panned out and it's cool to me. Spent all my time trying to be the man, but didn't want to grow like Peter Pan. Once upon a time I was doing bad, now I'm on something new, hope you understand. Sitting on top undefeated, any obstacle I'ma beat it. Any opposition I'ma beat them. Victory is all I see, yeah. Cause losing is never an option, it's never an option, no. I see you over there plotting, you think you gon' prosper, no.
I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in. I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in.
Sick of losing, I was born to win. A new man like I'm born again. This time around, man, I'm going in. They gave me the ball, I'm not losing it. You devils can take all these L's back. Moving forward, never looking back. Refuse to take any more losses. No misfortunes, just endorsements. Operate at peak performance. Squad behind me, reinforcements. All I think about is scoring. Hear 'em roaring, crowd applauding. Cause losing is never an option, it's never an option, no. I see you over there plotting, you think you gon' prosper, no.
I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in. I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in.
Dwayne, as the finality hits, what do you think this team took from this series?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. I lost my voice. But they did a setting the tone of how the series was going to be played. I think our guys took away how hard you have to play to compete at this level. And just like tonight, you know, they got to the line 41 times, and Antetokounmpo had 20 attempts. He had 8 more than our entire team. So that means he was taking in there with force, and I guess we were fouling him. So that's a big discrepancy for me. But again, we learn from that. We take from it how hard you have to play, the intensity you have to play with for 48 minutes, something that will help us next year going into the season to start through training camp and have this understanding of the physicality you have to play with.
Dwayne, can you talk a little bit about Blake Griffin and, you know, the ovation he got and what you got from him in terms of effort this year?
Well, Blake with basically one leg, and he gave everything he could to our team. He fought through a lot of pain, swelling, just so he could support his teammates. And, you know, I think we were in 6th place when he started experiencing the swelling and everything, but he kept with it, kept playing until he couldn't play anymore. He gave everything he could to our team. And without him, we haven't had a chance to make the playoffs. So he has meant so much to our team, just his presence, his physicality and his style of play. He did a great job of transforming his game to a perimeter game plus a post-up game and to get ready for the new NBA. And so we owe him a lot as far as what he gave us, the leadership he gave to the young players. He just gave a passionate speech in the locker room about how proud he was to play with those guys and the future that he sees with the young players coming through.
Coach, Pat just asked you about Blake injured down the stretch. I wonder, have you had a chance to think about perhaps like a what if Blake didn't get hurt? Because certainly that you saw for most of the season, and obviously at the end of the year, it cost your team a bit of seeding as well.
It did, but I would say without him, we wouldn't have been as close as we were to 6th place, because the first part of the season he really carried us up, and even through after the All-Star break. So woulda, coulda, shoulda. He brought so much to the team. His presence, his leadership, his knowledge. That's one thing that helped us so much. His knowledge in certain situations. But like tonight, he shot 2 free throws? 2 free throws. The way he's attacking the basket, I got to go back and watch the film. But for him to shoot 2 free throws and Antetokounmpo 20, so that's a huge discrepancy for 2 players that's going to the basket, going to the rim in an NBA game.
What is the number one thing that you're going to take away from your first year here with the Pistons as you move forward?
Well, I understand. I have a better understanding of what each player can do and can't do. And also, too, this is going to be a huge summer for our development coaches and ourselves to develop the weaknesses of some of our players, because we're going to have to grow from within. And so we have a lot of talent with our young guys, but they have some areas where they can get much better in. I learned that. I learned the competitive spirit of certain players on our team. And again, I really, really appreciate the way they fought through a lot. Losing Blake for those games. We lost Ish for quite a few games. We lost some tough games throughout the year. So I learned what guys can and can't do in those situations in close games.
During the third quarter, it seemed like the game got away when Milwaukee started to get to the free throw line a lot, and it didn't seem like you appreciated the whistle based on your technical foul in that third quarter. I wonder if with that and with the crowd kind of egging the team on with the ref chants, if you thought that perhaps there was a way that they could have handled that better with the.
I don't know if we could have handled it any better. I mean, in that situation, they were getting to the line. I don't think it was anything that we were doing wrong. Our top players were in foul trouble, so they had to come out of the game. So I thought that set the tone in the third quarter for us. I don't think it was anything with poise or lack of poise or anything like that. again, we're not playing against chopped liver, but, when we have Andre Drummond in foul trouble, Blake in foul trouble, everybody, we're looking over there, Luke Kennard getting all his fouls. We had a lot of guys that were in foul trouble in that stretch. And lo and behold, that's when they went on their run.
Yeah, yeah. Real love, something I've been trying to find. Where you been? Got here just in time. I think there's something I've been waiting for. I've been asking if it's something that I'm ready for. I was out looking for love in a trash can. I always thought there was nobody out there. Then I found you and you put me in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm sleeping, love is all I can dream of. When you leave me, baby, it's all that I can think of. Can't nothing come in between us but the road. I can't help it that we connected at the soul. Show me how to love, how you do that. This my heart, better watch it where you shoot at. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. This time last year, used to hate love. Been through so much, almost gave up. Every time I felt like it was something missing. Then I met you, then you showed me something different. Heart on lockdown, but letting no one in. I was shutting people down before they even begin. Can't imagine me living my life without you. Had to sit down and write me a song about you. Lost my mind to describe what it feel like. If a bird lost its wing, but it still flies. You the one, help me realize. Love really do exist in the real life. Love really do exist in the real life. Real life, real life. When I'm sleeping, love is all I can dream of. When you leave me, baby, it's all that I can think of. Can't nothing come in between us but the road. I can't help it that we connected at the soul. Show me how to love, how you do that. This my heart, better watch it where you shoot at. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone.
Blake, a couple of moments ago, Coach Casey mentioned that game you gave a, quote, passionate speech to your teammates about how much you appreciated playing with them. I was wondering if you could share a little bit of that with us.
Yeah, I mean, my message to them was just that, we got a locker room full of guys this year who are genuinely happy for each other's success and, have shown that over and over. There's examples all throughout the season. The thing that sticks out to me just because it was so recent, I had to kind of pass a bunch of benchmarks to be able to convince our training staff that, I could come back and play. And one of them was to, participate in a full contact, one-on-one, be able to, do everything I needed to. And they asked John Lure to come in early on Thursday. Thursday was kind of like film day, whatever. Some guys got some work in. They asked John Lure to come in early, and he did, and Isaiah White. And we played 2-on-2 for about 20, 30 minutes, and then they stayed and they got shots up after that, and they went to film, and they did whatever they had to do. And then the next 2 games, John was inactive. It's a guy 8 years in the league and been on some good teams and is a good player and did that and didn't bat an eye. Just did it and didn't have attitude. Did it because somebody asked him to do that, and I'm sure he felt like that was what he needed to do. And I appreciate things like that. Excuse me, that I appreciate. Teammates that are willing to come in early on a day they don't necessarily have to and do that. For me.
Blake, this was arguably the best season of your career, and even though this was a quick, in and out of the playoffs, are you going to be able to at least take some personal satisfaction knowing that you can still be a top player in this league?
There's always things, as a player, there's always things you want to build on. This year, I think I showed some different parts of my game, but there's still a lot of growth that I can do, and especially getting a year under my belt under Coach Casey and his staff and kind of understanding our system a little bit better, and knowing our offense and where things will come from, and even knowing my teammates a little bit better. Now's not really the time to, especially after exiting like this, it's not really a time that I sit back and reflect and feel positive. It'll be a long again, like last off season, which is a good thing for me because I'll be able to get in the gym and work and come back and be ready.
Blake, after you guys scored 62 in the first half, the third quarter, there were so many fouls. I think they shot 15 free throws. Mm-hmm. How tough was it to generate any offense when you spent so much of that quarter standing at the free throw line and then taking it out after made free throws?
Yeah, that was to me the game. Giannis shooting 8 more free throws than our entire team is you're not going to win a game like that. And their team shooting 41, you're not going to win a game like that with them getting that many more opportunities. That's on us, fouling and several times, allowing them to get and one. I did it twice, I think. So some of that's on us, but some of that's a little bit out of our control. And I think that really messed up the flow of the game for us.
Blake, at the end of the season, obviously, you started feeling the injuries after being healthy for the vast majority of the season, one of the healthiest seasons you've had in several years, and it coincided with a 4-game losing streak, and then the team appeared to be not the team that we saw throughout the regular season once they made the playoffs, and I wonder if you ever think to yourself in the last couple of weeks, what if you had just been able to hang on for an extra couple of weeks without the knee injury flaring up?
No, my focus has been the team and these playoff games. What ifs doesn't really do a whole lot of good for me in half my career, so I tend not to dwell on those.
Blake, can you explain just sort of what went into this injury for you, and does it affect your offseason? You talked about how last offseason was a healthy one and how big a difference that made for you. Any surgery or anything like that?
I like I said, I've kind of put everything into getting back and playing, and this playoff series. So it's not something I've like sat down and really mapped out. But no, I don't anticipate missing any time of working out other than just my normal time that I take off. So we'll see. Thanks, guys.
Y'all know who I am. I'm not who I used to be. I know it wasn't in my plans, but it panned out in the school of me. Spent all my time trying to be the man, but didn't want to grow like Peter Pan. Once upon a time I was doing bad, now I'm on something new, hope you understand. Sitting on top undefeated, any obstacle I'ma beat it. Any opposition I'ma beat them. Victory is all I see in. Cause losing is never an option, it's never an option, no. I see you over there plotting, you think you gon' prosper, no.
I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in. I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in.
Sick of losing, I was born to win. A new man like I'm born again. This time around, man, I'm going in. They gave me the ball, I'm not losing it. You devils can take all these L's back. Moving forward, never looking back. Refuse to take any more losses. No misfortunes, just endorsements. Operate at peak performance. Squad behind me, reinforcements. All I think about is scoring. Hear 'em roaring, crowd applauding. Cause losing is never an option, it's never an option, no. I see you over there plotting, you think you gon' prosper, no.
I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in. I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in.
Giannis, obviously, you've talked about bigger aspirations, bigger goals on this season, but what does it mean to win your first playoff series?
It means a lot. I've been 6 years in the league, and just to win our first playoff series with this group right here, it's unbelievable. I think we played great basketball. We stuck together the whole series. Even though when we faced adversity and they were up, they were taking leads, it wasn't playing our best. I think we were able to, just keep fighting, keep pushing as a group, and it feels good to win our first playoff series together.
Giannis, is a physical game. We're the recipient of a lot of those fouls. Just what's the mental process as you're trying to fight through the physical toll that a game takes on you?
First of all, I'll start with, my teammates. Eric, every game of this season, he told me to set the tone, to keep playing hard, to be aggressive. So no matter if they foul me or not, I'm just trying to play through contact, try to play through the, refs, even though made no call fouls in our favor. And, that's what I've been doing all season, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. And that's what my teammates want me to do.
Giannis, can you take us through the and one where you went up to dunk on Andre or tried to and then took the contact and made the shot?
Great pass by Sterling. I think, first of all, we started defensively. I think we had a great defensive possession to run the floor. I think Sterling had the ball. I saw him going middle, so usually I just got behind them whenever they go middle, just to give them a little bit more space because my guy comes with me. He was able to see me and give me the ball right in the paint, so I got up and I just tried to imitate Bledsoe in game 3. I got up and tried to finish with the other hand, whatever. I don't remember.
Can you give us your perspective, what your angle was on that play and maybe where that ranks with what you've seen him do?
Like he said, game 3 came to me about my layup. The one I made in my left hand, but I had to tell him, like, bro, you understand how, athletic you've been all season at finessing at the rim. So, and that one, it was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable, man.
Eric, a lot of emotion in the building, of course. They get off to a good start, carry a lead through the half, but there's a stretch in the third quarter, technical foul on the Pistons head coach, and that turned into a 17-3 run to end the quarter. It felt like you guys' foot was on the gas from that point on. Did that feel like things were changing and you guys sort of just got on a roll and never let up?
We knew we was going to get their best shot. They was trying not to get and they at home, so we knew we was gonna get their best shot, but we didn't. We've been doing a great job all season long at keeping our composure, not worry about what's going on as far as the environment, and just focus on us. We know, some things ain't gonna go in our favor majority of the time, so we've been playing through it, and we did a great job of, capitalizing, on that third quarter.
Bled, I know a lot of the focus in Milwaukee is ending the playoff drought and moving on for the first time, and you've only been here for 2 of those years, but how meaningful is it for you to personally get to that second round, somewhere you haven't been in a little while?
Like Giannis said, man, it feels good not only to get there, but to get there with this group, of guys that put in a lot of work this summer, and how we ended last. Definitely, gonna soak all of it in and prepare tomorrow. But at the same time, we're gonna enjoy this moment.
For either of you guys, you've talked a lot this season about how you have bigger goals and you don't want to get too caught up in the little victories, but this is kind of a big milestone. So what's the balance between getting back to work to get ready for Boston and to celebrate tonight?
We're just gonna celebrate, on the plane, on the way back. We know Bud gonna come with a great game plan, so we're not worried about that. We're gonna leave it up to Bud to stress over, and we're gonna just, get to what we do, most of this, have fun on the plane, play a little boo-ray. Hopefully, I might get in the poker game and take some of Giannis' money.
Giannis, I'm curious for you, thinking back to the start of your time with the Bucks, that first playoff series, now getting one. Just how much have things changed? And to you, is it kind of crazy to see where the franchise has come over that time?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I remember our first playoff series. We lost from Chicago. The last game, Game 6, they beat us by 50. It was something insane. But where we were and where we are right now, it's been an unbelievable journey. I think the organization have done a great job just pushing us, and we're just going to keep enjoying the moment. We're going to try to stay in the moment, and as Eric said, enjoy it, and hopefully we can get better each day and achieve our goals that we've set all season. And I think one thing that we didn't talk about, we didn't congratulate the Pistons. I think they played 4 games. They played extremely hard. They played together, and I just want to congratulate them for the series.
At the end of all of that, you give Thon a big hug. Make sure you run over there. You exchange jerseys with him. Kind of what has this series been like for you going up against Thon?
It's been weird. I've talked a little bit about it in the past. It's easy to go against Coach Sweeney. He's been my coach for 4 years now. But it was kind of weird going against Thon. Thon, he's been always my little brother. We always work out together in the summer. He's not just a teammate. It's part of my family. So, the series started. We wasn't able to talk much. We didn't exchange no words. And I was happy about it because I realized that he take it really serious. He's really competitive guy, and he wants to help his team win. And that's what he did the whole 4 games. But I just want always to remind him that I got love for him. I want him to keep getting better, and we're gonna stay in touch.
Giannis, you were 4 of 8 at the free throw line in the first half. You come back early out of halftime. You're practicing them. Then you go 11 of 12 in the second half. Just what's that process like of kind of maybe refocusing at the line?
It's easy. It's easy. When you see the free throws go in, it's easier. After that, in the first half, I was just missing it. There wasn't bad miss. There was just a good shot that just did not went in. As you said, I came a little bit early in the half. Shot like 10 of them, and I was able to get my rhythm and my touch back. And when the game started, I just tried to shoot with confidence.
I know you guys were both in 2001, the last time the Bucks made it out of the first round. But do you have any recollection of that at all? Was that even something that you were watching or on your radar?
No, not me.
How old was I? I was 7 years old. What were you, 11?
Yeah, probably.
11. The only thing I remember about it, it was the play against Philly, right? When Game 7 and the last. That's all I know about it. I gotta go watch. I gotta go back and watch the tapes.
Giannis, in Game 3, you had 14 points. Game 4, you had 41 points. I wonder how your performance in Game 3 maybe motivated you to come out for a big MVP caliber game in Game 4.
You know, obviously, I was kind of happy. You know, usually when you don't play well and you don't have the best game, and things don't go your way, you kind of become, you become sad. But I was kind of happy after Game 3 because I think the team reacted the best way. You know, Bledsoe was leading, Chris was leading the second half. Like everybody came out and played hard and step up. Even though I was having like one of the worst games that I've had in lately, and we're still able to get the win. So I was happy about it. Obviously, I'm a guy that really competitive.